I will call this special meeting of the Stratford Board of Education to order. My name is Andrea Corcoran. I'm the board chair. It is 7:18 on Monday, June 6th, and we do have a quorum. We have one item of business on tonight's agenda, and it is the discussion and approval of to adopt the fiscal year 22-23 itemized estimate of expenditure as passed on with a favorable recommendation by the Finance Committee earlier this evening. I will entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
So moved by Mrs. Wiltsey. Second by Mr. Henrik. Is there any discussion?
Madam Chair?
Yes, sir.
Just to reiterate and put it on the record, I think one of the biggest concerns it seems to be of the board and the public is that Johnson has some serious needs. You know, their numbers show that they're lagging. Some of these cuts are perceived as reductions. I myself don't personally see them. I think moving the pre-K there is a good opportunity to open it up to people who probably need it the most. But this vote, I think, is a sign of trust because we don't see the alliance and we don't know all the numbers. But just to ensure that it's a vote of trust, at least on my part, that Johnson will receive those much needed, that the discipline will be addressed. I know there's a big issue there and has an impact on the learning, but all those issues will be addressed. And that's why I voted in favor of it. That's why I'm going to vote in favor of it. I'm putting my trust in the administration that those items will be addressed, and that is our neediest school based on the numbers. And I've always been in favor of ensuring that those kids get all the kids in our school, but especially those who need it the most, get the required resources. So, but and I just want to say that, and that's why I'm in favor of this.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Henrik. Any other discussion?
Madam Chair, if I may, I would just like to also make a comment that for years we have talked about how our status quo is not working. And so I think with the faith in our new administration, we can feel confident in the plan moving forward that we're going to be listening to kid-centered conversation, and with the new administration in place to make these plans and to make them work, I feel excited that there'll be some new opportunities for innovation, and Johnson will finally get all of the resources that we have long been asking for, and that we know that they need. So I would just put my trust in you administrators to make sure that this is the end game, and thank you for bringing us a plan when we weren't sure what that was going to be and what our district would look like. And when our kids come to school in the fall, I certainly hope that they feel not much has changed, and their friends are there and their teachers are there, and we can move forward with child student-centered services.
Thank you, Mrs. Wiltsey. Any other discussion? Yes, ma'am.
I think I've gone on record before and expressed to you, Dr. Asende, I have the utmost faith in your leadership, the way you approach problems. You inherited a lot. There's no doubt about that. One of the things that I was thinking about throughout this process, and again, I don't mean to keep going back to 3 years ago or whatever, but we redistricted and we had a large population of students from schools across the town who were minority students placed into this one school. There was a promise to provide additional resources. That never happened, right? It was found out that the students who came back were performing below grade level, and I know that's not what this meeting is about necessarily, but it's at the heart of what the problem is, right? It's what were we doing for those students before then? Were we just shuffling them through? There's a bigger issue that needs to be addressed, and we, put a lot of strain on that school and failed to support them. So we've set up the teachers, the students, everybody for failure. When you look at the number of sixth graders at Johnson, that's over 100 students. that's going to be ballpark 50% of Worcester. If we don't support 100+ students at that school properly, Worcester is going to fail, right? It's just a matter of simple math, averages, right? What percentage of Stratford High do those students account for? So again, I'm looking at this, not only from the school, but longer term, right? Like how it's affecting us as an entire district. And we've seen where year after year, short-sighted decisions have been made that has put us in this position now. And that's why I'm so firmly on this topic, right? Because I don't know how else to explain it, but it is a very big issue. And we as a board, I don't want to say you, Dr. Sunday, we all have to work together to solve for this. There are people who complain about the mill rate. I get that. But you know what? If our schools fail, now you have that branding on you. Right? We cannot continue to make decisions like this. Like, we're one town, and we all have to come together and, take what, if it's losing something, we all need to lose a little bit then. Like, we can't have one neighborhood, one school taking the burden year after year after year. Do you think the school... Sorry, but people are holding on to Vicky Soto. Some of it is for whatever. Everybody have their reason, right? But some of it is also, it's one nice thing that we have in that neighborhood. Because everything else gets ripped out. So people are going to want to hold on to something. These are the things that are going through my mind as I have to make these decisions. And I'll end right there. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments, concerns, questions, discussion? Seeing none, we will have a roll call vote. Mr. Henrik?
Yes.
Ms. Bedell?
No.
Mr. Kennedy?
Yes.
Ms. Carol Fabian?
No.
Mrs. Wiltsey?
Yes.
Mrs. Cupey?
No.
And the chair votes yes. Motion passes 4-3. Seeing no further business, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second, Mr. Hendricks, second by Mrs. Carol Fabian. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned at 7:25.